Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Without Stress. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Mary. Thanks so much for joining us today.
We're really excited about this first episode. Mary, can you tell our listeners what we're going to talk about today?
Of course. Today we're going to chat about everyday conversations at the workplace. You know, the kind of small talk and discussions that happen every single day at work.
Exactly. And we're keeping it simple and natural, just like two friends having coffee and talking about their day.
That's right. So everyone listening, just relax and enjoy the conversation. You don't need to understand every single word. Just listen to how we talk naturally.
Perfect. So, Mary, shall we start?
Let's do it.
So, Mary, tell me, what's the first thing you usually say when you arrive at work in the morning?
Oh, that's easy. I usually say good morning to everyone. Sometimes I say, hey, how's it going, if I know them well.
Right, yes. How's it going is very common. I use that one a lot too. It's more casual than how are you?
Exactly. And you know what's interesting? Most people don't expect a long answer. They just say, good, thanks, or not bad, you?
That's true. It's more like a greeting than a real question sometimes. I remember when I first started working, I would give really long answers about how I was feeling.
Oh no, that must have been awkward.
It was, but I learned quickly. Now I just say, pretty good, thanks, and keep walking to my desk.
That's the way to do it. So, Andrew, what about when you need to ask a colleague for help with something? What do you say?
Let me think. I usually start with something like, hey, do you have a minute? Or, are you busy right now?
Oh, yes, that's polite. You're checking if they have time before asking your question.
Right. You don't want to interrupt someone when they're really focused on something important.
Absolutely. And if they say, actually, I'm a bit busy right now, what do you do?
I'll say something like, no problem. When would be a good time? Or, I'll catch you later.
Perfect. I'll catch you later is such a useful phrase. It means, I'll talk to you later.
Yes, and it's very casual and friendly. Speaking of asking for help, what do you say when someone helps you with something?
Well, obviously, thank you, or thanks so much. But sometimes I say, I really appreciate it, or you're a lifesaver.
You're a lifesaver. That's a good one. I use that when someone really helps me out of a difficult situation.
Exactly. It's a bit dramatic, but in a fun way. People like it when you show genuine appreciation.
Definitely. Now, what about those times when you need to disagree with someone at work? That can be tricky.
Oh, yes, that's a delicate situation. You have to be careful with your words.
So, how do you do it?
Well, I never say, you're wrong, or that's a bad idea. That sounds too direct and might hurt someone's feelings.
Right, that would be quite rude.
Instead, I might say, I see your point, but have you considered? Or, that's interesting, but what about?
Those are good. You're showing that you listen to them first and then offering a different perspective.
Exactly. Another one I use is, I understand what you're saying, however.
Yes, however, is a very useful phrase for polite disagreement. It's like saying but in a more formal way.
True. And sometimes I'll say, actually, I was thinking something a bit different.
That works too. It's gentle. You're not attacking their idea, you're just presenting your own.
Right. So, Andrew, what about meetings? Do you have any common phrases you use in meetings?
Oh, yes, meetings are full of common expressions. Let me think. When I want to say something, I might say, can I jump in here? Or, if I can add something.
Good ones. And what if everyone is talking at once?
That happens a lot. If I really need to speak, I might say, sorry to interrupt, but, or just quickly.
Just quickly is interesting because you're promising it won't take long.
Exactly. People are more willing to listen if they know you'll be brief. What about you, Mary? What do you say in meetings?
Well, if I agree with someone, I might say, I'm on board with that, or that sounds good to me.
I'm on board is great. It means you support the idea or plan.
Yes. And if I'm not sure about something, I'll say, I need to think about that, or let me get back to you on that.
Those are important phrases because you're not saying yes or no immediately. You're buying yourself some time.
Exactly. It's better to think carefully than to make a quick decision you might regret later.
Good point. Now, what about lunch breaks? What kind of conversations happen then?
Oh, lunch breaks are more relaxed. People talk about their weekend, their families, TV shows, hobbies, all sorts of things.
Right, it's less formal. I might say, any plans for the weekend? Or, did you watch that new show everyone's talking about?
Yes, small talk like that helps build relationships with your colleagues.
Definitely. And it's a nice break from work topics, though sometimes people do talk about work during lunch.
True. Someone might say, "How's that project going?" Or, "Are you ready for the presentation tomorrow?"
Even at lunch, we can't completely escape work.
That's so true. But you know what, Andrew? There's another important workplace conversation we haven't mentioned.
What's that?
Saying goodbye at the end of the day.
Oh, yes, of course. So, what do you usually say?
I usually say, "Have a good evening," or "See you tomorrow." Sometimes just, "Have a great night."
Those are all good. I often say, take care, or see you later.
Take care is nice. It's friendly and shows you care about the person.
And if it's Friday, people often say, have a great weekend.
Oh, yes, that's a classic Friday phrase. Everyone loves hearing that.
Because everyone loves weekends. Actually, Mary, what about when someone looks stressed or tired? What do you say?
That's a good question. I might say, "Are you okay?" Or, "You look tired. Everything all right?"
And you say it with concern, not in a judgmental way.
Exactly. You want to show you care, not make them feel worse. Sometimes I'll say, "Can I help with anything?"
That's thoughtful. Offering help can really make someone's day better.
Absolutely. And if someone asks me if I'm okay, I might say, "Yeah, just a bit tired," or "It's been a busy day, but I'm fine."
Right, you acknowledge how you're feeling, but you don't complain too much.
Yes, you want to be honest, but also professional.
Speaking of being professional, what about when you need to deliver bad news or tell someone about a mistake?
Oh, that's tough. I try to be direct, but kind. I might say, "I need to tell you something," or "We have a small problem."
Small problem is good. It doesn't sound too alarming.
Right. And then I explain the situation clearly. I might say, "Unfortunately, there's been a delay," or "We're going to need to make some changes."
Those are diplomatic ways to phrase it. You're being honest, but not dramatic.
Exactly. And I always try to offer a solution, like, "But here's what we can do about it."
That's professional. You're not just pointing out the problem, you're helping to solve it.
Right. It makes a big difference. Oh, and Andrew, what about when you receive compliments at work? That can be awkward for some people.
Oh, yes. Some people don't know how to respond to compliments. What do you do?
Well, I used to just say, "Oh, it was nothing," and downplay it. But that's not really accepting the compliment properly.
Right, you should accept it gracefully. So, what do you say now?
Now I say, "Thank you, I really appreciate that," or "Thanks, I worked hard on it." I acknowledge the compliment without being arrogant.
That's much better. You're showing confidence without bragging. I sometimes add, it was a team effort if other people were involved.
Oh, that's nice. You're being humble and giving credit to others. That's a great workplace attitude.
Thanks. Speaking of team efforts, what about when you're working on a project with colleagues? What kind of conversations happen then?
Oh, there are so many. You might say, "Let's divide up the tasks," or "Who wants to handle the research part?"
Right, delegating work. I often say, I can take care of the presentation, or would you like to work on the data analysis?
Good examples. And what about when you need an update from someone?
I'll usually say, how's your part coming along? Or, do you need any help with your section?
That second one is important because you're offering support, not just checking up on them.
Exactly. You don't want to sound like you're micromanaging. What about when deadlines are approaching?
Oh, that's stressful. I might say, "We need to finish this by Friday," or "Are we on track to meet the deadline?"
On track is a useful expression. It means you're making good progress toward a goal.
Yes, like a train on a track, moving towards its destination. And if you're behind schedule, you might say, we're running a bit behind, or we might need an extension.
Running behind is very common, and extension means extra time.
Right. Now, Andrew, what about those awkward moments at work, like when you forget someone's name?
Oh no, that's so embarrassing, but it happens to everyone.
It does. So what do you do?
Well, if I realize I forgot, I might be honest and say, I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. Could you remind me?
That's brave. Most people appreciate the honesty. I do the same thing. I say, I apologize, your name is escaping me right now.
Escaping me is a nice way to say you can't remember something. It's less harsh than saying, I forgot.
True. What about when you accidentally interrupt someone, or step on their foot, or bump into them?
Oh, quick apologies. Sorry, or excuse me, or my bad.
My bad is very casual. It means my mistake, or that was my fault.
Right, and if it's more serious, you might say, I'm really sorry about that, or I apologize.
Yes, being quick to apologize shows good manners. What about when someone apologizes to you?
I usually say, no worries, or don't worry about it, or it's totally fine.
Those are all good. They show you're not upset. Sometimes I say, no problem at all, or just, all good.
All good is very casual and friendly. It's like saying everything is okay.
Exactly. Now, what about coffee break conversations? That's another informal time at work.
Oh yes, the coffee machine is where a lot of chatting happens. People often say, need a coffee break? Or want to grab a coffee?
Grab a coffee is such a common expression. It just means get a coffee, usually quickly.
Right, and while getting coffee, people make small talk. Maybe about the weather, like, it's really cold today, or beautiful day outside.
Weather is a safe topic. It's neutral and everyone can relate to it. What else do people talk about at the coffee machine?
Maybe weekend plans again, or they might complain a little bit about being tired. I need this coffee, or it's been a long morning.
Yes, coffee break is sometimes for venting a little, but nothing too negative, just light complaints.
Exactly. You're bonding with colleagues over shared experiences. What about when the boss walks by during coffee break?
Good question. Usually people are friendly, but might keep it brief. Hi, how are you? And then back to work soon after.
Right. You're still friendly, but you're aware of the professional relationship. Speaking of bosses, what about asking your boss for something, like time off?
That requires careful wording. I might say, would it be possible to take next Friday off? Or, I was hoping to use a vacation day next week.
Good. You're asking, not demanding, and you're being specific about when.
Yes, and I might add a reason, like, I have a family commitment, or I have a doctor's appointment.
You don't need to give too many details, but a brief reason helps. What if your boss says no?
Then I'd say, I understand, or, okay, no problem, maybe I can schedule it for another time.
That's professional. You're accepting their decision without arguing or getting upset.
Right, and who knows, maybe you can ask again later when the timing is better. Andrew, what about giving feedback to colleagues?
That's important. Positive feedback is easy. You just say, great job on that presentation, or you handled that really well.
Yes, everyone likes positive feedback, but constructive criticism is harder.
True, you have to be careful. I usually start with something positive, then mention what could be improved.
That's the sandwich method. Positive, constructive, positive.
Exactly. I might say, your report was really thorough. I think the introduction could be a bit shorter, but overall, it's excellent work.
That's tactful. You're being honest, but not harsh. And you ended on a positive note.
Right. What phrases do you use for constructive feedback?
I might say, one thing to consider is, or maybe we could try, or what if we approached it this way?
Those are all gentle ways to suggest improvements. You're framing it as a suggestion, not a criticism.
Exactly. And I try to focus on the work, not the person. I don't say, you're bad at this. I say, this section could be stronger.
That's a crucial difference. You're critiquing the work, not attacking the person.
Yes, it's much more professional and productive that way.
Absolutely. Mary, we've talked a lot about formal situations. What about when you become friends with your colleagues? How does that change things?
Oh, that's interesting. When you're friends, the conversation becomes more relaxed and personal.
Right. You might talk about your personal life more. How's your daughter doing in school? Or did you finally finish that book you were reading?
Yes, you remember details about each other's lives. It's not just work talk anymore.
And you might make plans outside of work. Want to grab lunch this weekend? Or we should see that movie together.
True. But you still need to maintain some professionalism at the actual workplace.
Exactly. You can be friends and professional at the same time. It's all about balance.
Well said. Balance is key in workplace relationships. Now, Andrew, what about phone etiquette at work? That's important too.
Oh, yes. When you answer the phone at work, you need to be professional. I usually say, "Hello, this is Andrew speaking," or "Andrew here, how can I help you?"
Good. You're identifying yourself right away so the caller knows who they're talking to.
Right. And if I'm calling someone, I say, "Hi, this is Andrew from the marketing department. Is this a good time to talk?"
That's polite. You're checking if they're available. What if they say they're busy?
Then I say, "No problem. When would be a better time to call?" Or "Should I call back later?"
Perfect. You're respecting their time. What about when you need to put someone on hold?
I always ask permission first. Would you mind holding for just a moment? Or can I put you on hold briefly?
And then when you come back,
I thank them for waiting. Thanks for holding, or sorry about the wait.
that's good manners. Nobody likes being put on hold, so acknowledging it helps.
Definitely. What about voicemail messages? Do you have tips for leaving good voicemails?
Yes. Keep them short and clear. Say your name, why you're calling, and your phone number. For example, "Hi, this is Mary. I'm calling about the Johnson project. Please call me back at 555-0123.
And speak slowly when you say your phone number.
Yes, that's so important. People need time to write it down.
I always repeat my number twice, just to be safe.
That's smart. Better to be clear than to miss a callback. Now, what about email communication? That's huge in most workplaces.
Oh yes, email is probably how we communicate most at work these days. There are so many unwritten rules about emails.
There really are. For example, how do you start a work email?
It depends on who I'm writing to. For someone I don't know well, I write, "Dear Mr. Smith," or "Dear Miss Johnson."
Right, that's formal. What about colleagues you work with regularly?
Then I just write, "Hi, Sarah," or "Hello, Tom." It's friendly, but still professional.
And if you're writing to a group?
I might say, "Hi, everyone," or "Hello, team," or "Hi, all."
Good options. What about ending emails? How do you sign off?
Again, it depends on the situation. For formal emails, I write "Best regards" or "Sincerely."
And for more casual emails to colleagues?
I might just write "Thanks," or "Best," or "Cheers."
Cheers is interesting. That's more common in some countries than others.
True. In the UK and Australia, it's very common. In the US, less so.
What about the actual content of emails? Any tips?
Yes, keep your subject line clear. Don't just write "question" or "hi." Write something specific like "question about Friday's meeting" or "budget report attached."
That helps people prioritize their emails. What else?
Keep the email short and to the point. Nobody wants to read a novel in their inbox.
So true. I try to keep emails to just a few short paragraphs.
Same here. And I use bullet points if I have several points to make. It's easier to read.
Good idea. What about the tone of emails? That can be tricky because you can't hear someone's voice.
Right. Emails can be misunderstood. I try to be friendly and clear. I might add a "hope you're having a good day" at the beginning.
That softens the tone. And what about when you need to send bad news by email?
I try to be direct but kind. I might write, "I'm afraid I have some difficult news," or "Unfortunately, we need to make some changes."
You're preparing them for the bad news. That's thoughtful.
Yes, and I always offer to discuss it further if needed, like, please let me know if you'd like to discuss this in person.
That shows you're available and care about their concerns.
Exactly. Mary, what about responding to emails? How quickly should you respond?
That's a good question. I try to respond within 24 hours, even if it's just to say, I received your email and will get back to you soon.
That's called an acknowledgement email. It lets the person know you saw their message.
Right. It's better than leaving them wondering if you got it.
Definitely. What about when someone sends you an angry or rude email?
Ugh, that's tough. My rule is never respond immediately when you're upset.
That's wise. You might say something you regret.
Exactly. I wait a few hours or even until the next day. Then I respond calmly and professionally.
And you don't match their tone. You stay professional even if they're not.
Right. Sometimes I might write, I sense there may be some frustration here. Can we schedule a call to discuss this?
Good idea. Moving to a phone call or in-person meeting can help resolve conflicts better than emailing back and forth.
Much better. Tone is easier to understand when you're actually talking to someone.
Absolutely. Speaking of conflicts, what about dealing with difficult coworkers?
That's challenging. You can't avoid them because you work together.
Right. So what's your approach?
I try to stay professional and focus on the work, not the personality clash. I might say, let's focus on finding a solution that works for the project.
That's diplomatic. You're redirecting to the task at hand.
Yes, and I try not to gossip about them with other coworkers.
That's important. Gossip just makes the situation worse.
Exactly. If it's really bad, you might need to talk to HR or your manager.
Right, but that should be a last resort.
Agreed. Usually you can find a way to work together professionally, even if you're not friends.
That's mature. You don't have to be friends with everyone at work.
No, but you do need to be respectful and professional with everyone.
Well said. Now, Mary, what about when new people join the team? How do you welcome them?
Oh, I always try to be friendly and helpful to new coworkers. I might say, welcome to the team, or if you need anything, just ask.
That's nice. Starting a new job can be scary.
It really can. So I try to make them feel comfortable. I might offer to show them around or introduce them to people.
That's thoughtful. What else can you do to help new coworkers?
I might invite them to lunch. Want to grab lunch with us today? That helps them get to know people.
Good idea. And you can answer their questions about how things work.
Yes, like, where's the supply closet? Or how do I book a meeting room?
Those little things are so helpful when you're new.
They really are. I remember being new and feeling lost.
We've all been there. It's nice when people help you settle in.
Definitely. It makes such a difference. Andrew, we've covered so much today.
We really have, from morning greetings to welcoming new team members.
And everything in between. Meetings, emails, phone calls, feedback, friendships.
It's amazing how much communication happens at work every single day.
It is. And for our listeners, remember that all of these are just examples.
Right. Every workplace is a bit different. Some are more formal, some are more casual.
The key is to pay attention to how people around you communicate and adapt your style.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions if you're not sure about something.
Good point. People appreciate when you want to learn and do things right.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up for today.
I agree. We've given our listeners lots to think about.
Lots of useful phrases and expressions for the workplace.
And remember, everyone, practice makes perfect. Don't worry about making mistakes.
That's right. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes.
So true. The important thing is to keep trying and keep learning.
And listen to how people talk naturally. That's the best way to learn.
Absolutely. So thank you all so much for listening to this first episode of English Without Stress.
We hope you found it helpful and enjoyable.
We'll be back soon with another topic and more natural conversations.
Until then, take care, everyone.
And remember, learning English should be fun, not stressful.
Bye.